All right, how about now?
Yep.
Oh yeah, 4 minutes into the interview, and this thing is just.
And not even to question one yet, right?
I have no idea what happened. I'll be honest with you. So there's that.
Well, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
That Cleveland hat looks good.
Yeah, your hat looked good though.
Man, well, had to wait till they put this on clearance because had to wait until they had a markdown on it because
Man, I'm not gonna pay full price for shit. So
I didn't pay full price for this. I can tell you that. I waited till they put it on clearance.
So I might, I'm gonna have to buy me some Central Division Championship gear though. That's the one thing I'm gonna have to do.
Well, I'm wondering if I want to wait until they throw it all on clearance and just get it after the fact.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating the same thing. I was like, all right, should I do it? Should I not?
Well, because I don't want to pay $42 for a Fanatic shirt.
No.
Because the cheapest I found was a Nike one at $37, and I'm like,
Jeez.
You know what I'd rather do? I'd rather just get a Nike like polyester one for cheaper with a markdown.
Yeah.
And then just wait for because they'll have these, maybe not the hats, but like they've already sold out of the Blue Jays division champion hats.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna wait. Yeah. I'm gonna wait. To be honest with
that
you.
was like a 970 trucker anyway, so I'm not gonna get that. Well, I don't like the fit of those anyway, so I didn't even want.
Yeah, they don't fit me right either, so you're good.
No, they can have them because they're poorly made anyway. I've had too many of those, not too many, but I've had a couple of those division champion stuff, and it's just not what it should be. But man, what were we saying? Division champions for both of us.
Yes, sir.
And you guys did it in like epic fashion. I mean, you guys won. What'd you do? You lost did you lose like 2 games in September?
2 games.
And one of them was to like the Rangers of all teams.
The first game was to the Rangers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, oh well.
Well, and not only you would have won the division even without winning today, but just to win it, kind of put a bow on the season. Stephen Vogt, what a job he's done with those Guardians, man.
This thing is messing me up. Okay. Relax, computer. All right, here we go. Are you ready, my friend?
I am ready.
All right. Well, let's get this show on the road, and let's see how this goes. Hopefully it doesn't screw up. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the Dadhead Chronicles podcast. My name is Ed, also known as the Dadhead, and I am coming to you on location from Asheville, North Carolina at the time of this recording. My team just won the Central Division Championship, which I am very happy about. And my guest, my good friend, one of my co-hosts of the DHC Sports Show and also Break Even Sports Show, which we talk about nothing but some of the little FCS football, some Formula One, and of course, our beloved soccer, or how they say it across the pond, football. So it is my good friend, the prospector himself, Mr. Patrick Larson. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you so much for having me on. You were allowing me to live out a dream. I never, ever thought that I would find my way onto this podcast. And now you have allowed a simple person from Georgia to live out his lifelong dream of being on 5 Questions with Ed Rivera.
Oh, my God. How exciting.
Well, I mean, I thought that I had a dream, realized when the Blue Jays just won the AL East division title, and then you find some way to top it. This takes the cake. I mean, but you find some way to top it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Some people go to Disney World. Some people go to Disneyland. I go on 5 Questions with that.
There it is. Just wait until everybody just loses their mind that finally Patrick Larson makes it.
Well, I think there's going to be probably more relief from our co-hosts on the DHC Sports Show.
That finally get it done.
Yeah, that they don't have to hear me go on and on about how I haven't been a guest. So
there you go. Well, now you're on the podcast. So all right, my friend. Yeah. Well, let's get started. This is how, for everybody who's listening for the first time, it is very simple. It is called 5 Questions with the Dadhead, pretty much, right? I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Obviously, the sports that we're going to talk about, it is baseball, but it does not have to be baseball. It can be any sport that you like. So I'm going to plug it in right here real quick, guys. If you're interested in doing this, if you want to be part of 5 Questions, but you're not a baseball fan, maybe you're a basketball fan or a hockey or football, that's okay. Send me a message through Instagram, through YouTube, and then we will get you on the podcast or even on Twitter. And make sure that before I continue, guys, our THC Sports Show, it is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as Break Even Sports Show, which is 8:30 on Mondays. All right, now that we got the business out of the way, my friend, are you ready for question numero uno?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Question number one, my friend, is when did you fall in love with the sport of baseball?
I've been a fan of baseball for as long as I can remember. My first memories are probably from the time I was around 5 or 6 years old. I just remember my mom and dad always had baseball on television.
Okay.
So for those that don't know or haven't heard me speak before, most of my family are Atlanta Braves fans. So everyone remembers the TBS Superstation, or TBS before they became the Superstation. That was always the home of the Atlanta Braves for a lot of people, especially people in the Southeast United States, but especially being in Georgia, obviously that's Braves country, and there were a lot of Braves fans. But growing up, my mom and dad always had it on the television. I didn't really grow up in a sports household per se, but really the only sport that was ever on television was baseball, because my dad was never really a fan of any sports that had a clock associated with it. I would say that soccer came in later because my younger sister and I played it, but I think his favorite sport has always been baseball because of the fact that, especially in the times before the rule changes took place, literally anything could happen and you had to make your own luck. You had to be the better team, and the game didn't end until one team had more runs than the other. And I think that's the magic of baseball, and it still has some of that, but obviously with some of the rule changes and the ghost runner that you get in extra innings now, one of the magic pieces of it growing up was that it wasn't over until it was over, and there wasn't a clock that was going to stop you.
That is very true.
So it started with that, and it kind of took on a life of its own. I can't say that I was a Blue Jays fan from the time that I was 5 or 6 or anything like that. That didn't come until later, and we'll probably get into that at some point. But the game of baseball is something that it was really the only sporting event we went to as a family. We would go to the old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and they were in the late 80s. They were really, really bad. So I do remember being up in the nosebleed section, but there would be, at the time, Chief Nakahoma out in the outfield trying to literally drum up support. And in the Atlanta sports market, a lot of times, if the team isn't doing well, a lot of times you'll see that shown in the attendance, and you could really go to any seat that you wanted, but we pretty much stayed up in the nosebleed section, because obviously growing up with a family of 5, it still costs money. It still costs money to take a family of 5 anywhere. I don't care how expensive or inexpensive it was. And but it was something we did as a family, and it didn't really matter where we sat. It was still something I always remember going to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and later on to some of the other Atlanta Braves parks. And it was always something fun to do as a family. And if it wasn't there, it was always on TBS, and we would watch the team, particularly in the early 90s when they started putting together that string of 14 consecutive division titles.
Yeah. I like it. All right. You ready for question number 2?
Let's go.
All right. Favorite sports memory or memories?
Ooh.
Give me a couple of those.
Man.
I know, right? I mean, I know you're gonna have to pare it down, right? Because I mean, obviously we could give you the one that from currently from tonight, right? Like where your Blue Jays are division champions, and how long have they not been the divisional champion in a very tough American League East?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously tonight is a very recent memory, but that is probably recency bias. But so is it just a favorite sports memory in general, or is it
baseball?
Just baseball. Okay.
Because you know what? I apologize. Let's go ahead sports, because obviously you are a fan of a plethora of sports. How's that?
Well, is it okay if I give one from baseball and then give just an additional one in sports in general?
Absolutely. This is your show, baby. I'm
Yeah.
just here
So,
hosting.
I would probably say, because when the Blue Jays won the World Series in 92 and 93, I can't say that I was a full-time Blue Jays fan at that point.
Okay.
And so I would probably say 2015, when the Blue Jays won the AL East. And it was, not only did they win the AL East for the first time, I think that was since 1993, if I remember correctly. But that also ended the longest playoff drought of any team in North American sports at the time. So yes, I'm
We
talking
still got
about
that one.
you. What?
Cleveland
Well,
has that one.
Well, I wasn't even talking
Championship
about
drought.
championship. I was just talking about even a playoff appearance.
Oh,
So
you're right.
yeah, so you guys had done it since then. I mean, you had been there before we had, because
Yeah.
it was because I think it was the Mariners at one point, and then when the Mariners made the playoffs, then we took over that mantle, or it was something along those lines. And there were a few years there where the Blue Jays, for all of North American sports, had the longest playoff drought of any team.
Yeah.
And I was like, so just to try to get that dubious honor taken away from you, and
Sure feels good.
Yeah, to win a division, and with the way they did it, it was a very different team from the one that we currently see now. That was a team that was all about the home run. So your Jose Bautistas and your Edwin Encarnaciones and your maybe not superstars in the eyes of baseball fans in general, but certainly beloved in Toronto for some of the years that they had. And they were, because Toronto is really, really special when the team is good. And
well, hell, I remember when Encarnacion signed with Cleveland, that big contract.
Well, isn't it funny the connection that the Guardians and Blue Jays seem to have, because many of the reasons that the Blue Jays won the division this year was because of former Guardians players, guys that played a huge role, like Ernie Clement and Shane Bieber and Andres Jimenez and Miles Straw. It's
pretty much Guardians of the North.
It is the Guardians of the North. We the North. They need to have a shirt that says "We the Guardians of the North."
Exactly.
So I would probably say 2015, and seeing the Blue Jays finally win a division, and to not only do that, but while they didn't make it to the World Series, they did actually win some playoff games, which they now haven't done in quite a long time since then. They did lose to the Royals in the American League Championship Series, which I'm sure Eric Profit would love to remind me of. So
I'm sure he will.
And I'm sure when he listens to this, he will remind me of it again. But,
of course. Because it is
anyways,
Eric.
It is Eric. So I would say that's my favorite baseball memory of. Now, another one is actually getting to. Is it like a sporting memory, or is it something that we see in person? Yeah.
Does it have to be in person?
Yeah.
You witnessed it, that you watched it, that you went with somebody at the bar or something like that.
Yeah. And while I didn't watch it with people, because I don't have many Blue Jays fans around here, just to get to experience it was special, and to just watch the Blue Jays in the playoffs, because ever since I truly became a fan, that was the first time I ever got to do that. Because prior to that, the Blue Jays were never, the season always ended in October or September. Gotcha. It really ended in September, so I didn't really get to see October baseball the way baseball fans really want to see it. Yeah. So
you said you watched it from,
Yeah. And I would say another memory as far as in person was actually getting to go with a couple of friends and actually visit the Rogers Center and see a Blue Jays game in person.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, for a guy I'm not the guy that's been to all these different stadiums like some of your other guests have been. I'm lucky that I've gotten to see my share of them, and I've gotten to see what I lack in quantity. I'd like to think I've made up for in quality, because I feel like I've gotten to see I've been very lucky to see some of the most beautiful stadiums in the major leagues, and I'm proud of the ones that I've been able to see. So while I don't have all 30 ballparks marked off my list, I've gotten to see my team play at home. and I've gotten to see some really, really beautiful stadiums along the way. So, but I'll take the quality over quantity every day.
Absolutely.
That's just the way that I like to do it. It doesn't make it the
The
way
right way or the wrong way.
yeah, exactly. And everyone is entitled to do it however they see fit. But so in person, I would say just actually making it to Toronto to say that I've actually made it to see a Blue Jays game is something that I'll always remember. And I know it's not the last time that I'll make it there.
Good. All right. You ready? Question number 3.
Let's go.
All right. Give me some traditions or rituals from your point of view as a fan, right? Like, I mean, what are your rituals?
Is this rituals in terms of watching it on TV or just
watching
going
on TV, or right before the season starts, or as going to the event?
Yeah.
For example, one of the rituals for me is every year, this because we talked ad nauseum, but is right before the season starts, I got to buy a brand new hat and a T-shirt right from that team that I'm watching. So like that's a ritual for me. What's a ritual or a tradition that you do?
I don't know that I have like an actual set tradition, or at least not one that's been a long-standing tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one of the ones that I have is actually one from being friends with you. I needed a reason. I've also started doing the purchasing of a hat and a shirt before every season. So
my bad.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. But I also make sure that I'd say another tradition now is getting the MLB.TV package every year, and using our friend Anna DiTomaso's secret life hack in terms of getting the MLB.TV, let's say at less than the full rate. A perfectly legitimate way to do it.
Anything goes.
Well, for you and for me, at least for the most part for you, one benefit of being where we live and cheering for the teams that we do is that we don't suffer the blackout that a lot of people do rooting for their local team.
Unless they play with a team that it is local.
Exactly. So I'm lucky that the Blue Jays only play the Braves about 3 times a year. So
yeah, see, I'm not so lucky because we got the Braves and the Nationals, and I believe the Orioles.
This is one of the few benefits that I say you have from living about as far away from your team as you can be.
Yep, exactly. 100%. You're right, though.
Yeah, is that I can watch most of the games, and I get to watch it on Sportsnet and get to hear Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez or Joe Siddall or Caleb Joseph doing all of the play-by-play for it. So it's something that I really enjoy getting to do, and it's something of a newer tradition now that I can access the MLB.TV package and
at a discounted price, of course.
At a discounted price, of course. And while it's not anything unique to me, I just sitting down with a nice drink and just taking in the game and just trying my best at least to be just a fan of the game rather than just getting fanatical over every pitch.
I mean, fans does come from the word fanatic, so
it does. And I'd be lying if I sat here and said I didn't have a few choice words when things aren't going my team's way. In fact, it just happened tonight more than once, even with the win. But
with a massive win at that.
Massive win, but when things got nervy there in the game, it's just one example of if a pitcher's struggling or something like that, I get so into the game that sometimes I have to check my emotions a little bit and just step back and sometimes switch it off for a little bit to try to make sure that I don't want to be that person that no one wants to watch sports with. So I try to, when I'm watching it by myself, I have to sometimes sit back and check my emotions about it.
You got to remind yourself.
I do. I have to remind myself that it's just a game and that I'm lucky that I even have a chance to watch my favorite team play because I remember a time where I didn't get to do that. So,
no, you're right. You're 100% right.
So yeah. So while those are not probably classic traditions that a lot of your listeners maybe have, I keep it simple, I guess. I don't really have a set tradition. I don't have to do it necessarily a certain way. My only requirement is that I can get access to the game and that I can watch my Blue Jays play.
I like it. Good job, my friend. All right. We got 2 more, all right?
All right, let's go.
Can you handle it?
I think I can. Let's go.
All right. and I'm sure you've thought about this one a lot because this is a good one. The last two are, I think, are the ones that we give it a lot more thought. But how has baseball changed your life?
I think baseball gives me an outlet to relax.
Ooh, okay. How?
And let me explain that. In day-to-day life, I'm probably more of a high-strung person than I probably care to admit sometimes. And my escape and my the thing that kind of brings me some relaxation is just sitting back and watching a baseball game, or when the opportunity presents itself, getting to go see a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like our friend George Falkowski wrote in his book, his great book, Ballpark Therapy. It's just a chance to kind of get away from stresses and from the day-to-day demands of life, and it's just that escape for a few hours to watch a beautiful game be played, and it kind of brings me a sense of balance and a sense of perspective. In that I'm lucky that I get to sit here and either watch this on the television, or I'm lucky that I get to be at this ballpark, and I get to watch either my Blue Jays play, or if we're going to a minor league stadium, especially in those instances where I get to go with loved ones, or with friends like you, and with Donnie and Eric, and our Curb Rim Media partners, with Virgil. That's always a real gift to me. Those moments really make me reflect about how lucky I am in the grand scheme of things in life. Because we all have our good days, we all have our bad days, but in the grand scheme of things, I know that I am very lucky that not only that this game exists, but that I both have the opportunity and the financial ability and the opportunities to experience this game in different ways, whether it's through the MLB.TV subscription, whether it's going on one of our Curb Rim Media meetups, which, by the way, join us for our one next year when we finalize that, for anyone that's listening. And little thing called the World Cup that's getting in the middle of those plans, but I know we'll announce something in the coming months. But whether it's MLB.TV or Curb Rim Media meetup, or just a small little trip where I get to see you and we get to see a game.
Yeah.
Like a good example is the game that you and I saw with our significant others, and with the Tri-State Chili Peppers and the Cosmic Baseball.
Oh, that was a lot of fun, dude.
Well, it's just that moment to me is like a perfect example of where I just sat there and I just felt so blessed to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it reminds me of how experiences mean so much more than things.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are so, and that maybe sounds weird from someone who collects as many hats as I do, but I think experiences are immeasurably more important than things that you can have. So, and that's something I always have to remind myself of, is that those are the things that ultimately really matter, are the experiences and the people you get to do them with, and also being grateful for getting to have those experiences. So baseball has changed my life by bringing me so many happy memories that I know I wouldn't trade for anything else.
I like it, my friend. All right, listen, we're down to our last question. Are you ready?
I think so. Let's bring it.
So why baseball?
Because life wouldn't be the same without baseball.
Oh, okay. You're going philosophical. I mean, deep on me. All right.
It's going to kind of relate to some of my old answers. Baseball, because in life anything can happen, and in baseball anything can happen.
Yeah.
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 In baseball, there's no, when I think about baseball, I always think about time.
Mm-hmm.
And even though a game doesn't end, it isn't ended by a clock, I feel like it reminds me of how time is such a valuable resource and to not take it for granted. I think in baseball, you can't take a lead for granted because
Yeah.
there's nothing that there's anything that can happen. I think in life where there is time, that time is the most valuable resource that we have.
It's one of the most precious commodity. You're
One
right.
of the most precious commodities, and we don't get it back. So you need you need to appreciate the time that you have, just like in baseball. I think you need to appreciate the lead that you have, and that it's not guaranteed. Just like in life, you're not guaranteed any amount of time. It's just
Yeah.
so make the most of I feel like in baseball, make the most of the lead and keep it, and in life, make the most of the time that you have with the moments that you have.
You're 100%, my friend. You're
Yeah.
100% on that one.
Yeah. And I just think, what is it? Baseball. I saw a T-shirt one time, and they've done it with a lot of sports, but I feel like in some way, baseball is a lot like life. The rest are just details.
Man,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I think for a lot of us that are huge baseball fans, you have your own way of defining what that is. And
Correct.
I don't mean to say that baseball's life is the only thing that matters in life. I just
No, no,
mean,
no, no. But
but
yeah, you're right.
but kind of making a reference from earlier when I was talking about that it's that way to kind of escape. It's like for me, it's like baseball is life for me is like that's where things can slow down, because we need to slow down in life because we move a mile a minute. We're all always so busy. We're moving from one thing to the other. At least I know I am. And a lot of times I don't stop and, smell the coffee or,
Well, learn to appreciate.
yeah, to learn to appreciate it and just stop. I have to remind myself of that probably 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
But the baseball game, the baseball game is a chance to slow down, and it's just a chance to sit there and however you consume that. If it's watching every pitch, if it's having a conversation with some good friends, or enjoying a beer, or enjoying a pretzel, or if you're our friend Val, Stadium Food Girl, enjoying whatever the cuisine is at the local stadium, or
Correct.
if you're or if you're some of our other friends enjoying it from a suite. I mean, whatever that is, it's a different thing for everyone. But the thing we all have in common is that we all get to enjoy being at the stadium in whatever capacity we like to enjoy it.
And that's right.
And I think that's a gift. Sometimes I know I take it for granted, but I feel like those are moments that we just have to remember to enjoy and appreciate.
You're right, my friend. Man, look at that. We made it through.
Man, well, thank you again for speaking of those moments. I appreciate all these moments with you that you allowing me to achieve a lifelong dream of being on Five Questions with the dad had himself. I mean, those are moments to appreciate. And I appreciate you and the guys on the DHC Sports Show. By the way, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Please join us. And on the Breaking Even, what do we call it? Breaking Even.
Breaking even.
Breaking even. Sorry, guys, we've been
It's a working
tinkering.
title.
Yeah, we've been tinkering with names for that show. So that's Mondays at 8:30 Eastern time,
Mm-hmm.
and just those moments that I get to that we get to do and talk about sports, and what we're building together is something that is a gift as well. And so shout out to everyone that's been listening, and look forward to earning new viewers, and just grateful I get to do it with some good friends.
That's right. And I want to thank you again, dude. But thank you for coming on Five Questions. Now, for those of you that are interested in coming on Five Questions, answer these very simple questions. You got to give it some thought, though. Okay, whether it is basketball, football, baseball, it does not matter to me. What matters is that you have a good connection with that sport. send me a message, and then we will make sure to get you scheduled and get you on the podcast. But before we go, guys, make sure again, and Patrick said it so eloquently, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the DHC Sports Show. We talk all sports at that point. And then also the Break Even Sports Show. It is a soccer, the lower levels of college football, some Formula One, IndyCar. Those are the sports that we would not be talking about. Also arena football. That's the day that we do talk about those sports. Make sure to join us at 8:30 Eastern Time on those. Make sure to follow Patrick. He is putting some great content out there. So make sure you guys are following this man right there. All right. The MLB Hat History. He is on Instagram. He is on Twitter. Hopefully, and I've been pushing him. Hopefully, he'll put out a YouTube channel soon, so that way he put all of his videos there. But you can also find me, the Dad Hat, on Twitter, Instagram. I am on TikTok as well as YouTube. So make sure you guys follow me there. Oh, and Threads. We're both on Threads as well. And until then, guys, we will see you guys on the next one.
No hay más que hablar. Lo que fue bonito, pero lo que duele más es lo que no se ha escrito.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Kelly Robinson, the Minor League Nerd. My YouTube channel explores the history of minor league baseball teams. More than just stats, we delve into team lineage, sharing stories from current franchises to obscure one-year wonders.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick
and Corey
of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball, so get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series, and in every episode I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.